Hello, thank you for joining the second video in the series. In this video, we will understand how the player price change script on Football Money works. Football Money deploys a zero-sum game. What that means is that the match value from the start of the match to the end of the match would always remain constant. Let's understand a quick example. Let's say there are four players, player A, B, C, and D. All of them are priced at 10 and have had one stock sold each. So this way, their value becomes 10 each, 10 multiplied by 1. And these four players enter into a match. So when they do, the match value becomes 40, which is 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10. Now, player A in this scenario scores a goal and we award the player with 3 coins. So their price goes from 10 to 13. If a player goes up by a certain amount, all of the other players would go down proportionately, which is what the zero-sum game implies. So in this example, if player A went to 13, which is the rise of 3, then player B, C, and D would all face a deduction of 1 coin each, which would make their price go to 9 from 10. So at the start of the match, all four were 10 and the match total was 40. Whereas now that player A has scored a goal, the price of player A goes up to 13 and player B, C, and D go down to 9. 13 plus 9 plus 9 plus 9 would also equal to 40. So the match value from the start to the end remained the same. That is the core concept of the player price change. And then we added rules and rules on top of that, which we'll go through right now. So first, let's take a look at what are the 5 positive events and what are the 5 negative events in this match. So a positive event can be defined as a goal, assist, clean sheet, penalty save, or goalkeeper shot stopped. A negative event can be defined as yellow card, red card, own goal, penalty miss, and start of the match bonus. All of the positions, there are 4 positions on Football Money, which is goalkeeper, defender, midfielder, and attacker. And they get different coins and different points for different events. So if a goalkeeper scored a goal, they would get 30 coins. If a defender scored a goal, they get 24. If a midfielder scored a goal, they get 20. And an attacker for a goal gets 16 coins. Now these are coins multiplied by the number of shares that are sold by them to actual traders. So if 1,000 shares are sold and a forward scored a goal, then it would be 1,000 into 16, which is 16,000. And we would deduct that 16,000 equally from all the other players. For an assist, a goalkeeper gets 20, a defender 12, a midfielder and attacker 10. For a clean sheet, the goalkeeper and defender both get 10 and midfielders and forwards do not get any coins. A clean sheet is awarded at the end of the match and only for players who have played, only for defenders and goalkeepers if they've played more than 90 minutes. So if they got subbed off at 89th minute and they had a clean sheet in that game, that defender or goalkeeper would not get those points. The goalkeeper shot stop, for every 3 shots that they stop, they get 5 coins multiplied by the shares to see how much value we need to add to the player. On the negative event front, all 4 positions get 5 coins deducted. For a yellow card, a goalkeeper red card is 20, negative 20, a defender red card, midfielder red card, and a forward red card are negative 10. Own goal is negative 20 for the goalkeeper and negative 10 for defender, midfielder, and attacker. A penalty miss is negative 20 for the goalkeeper and negative 10 for defender, midfielder, and attacker. The bonus at the start of the match. So at the start of every match, we deduct 2 coins multiplied by the number of shares for every player. Let's say there are 40 players in a match, which is 22 in the starting lineup and 18 on the bench. Everyone is considered collectively on Football Money. So it will be, let's assume all of them have 1,000 shares sold. So it would be 1,000 multiplied by 2. So every player would contribute 2,000. And if there were 40 players, then the bonus fund would become 80,000. All of the negative events that I listed just now, which were yellow card, red card, own goal, penalty miss, and the start of the match bonus, all of these are additions to the bonus fund, which we distribute to the top performers at the end of the match, and we distribute the bonus to the top 5 players. So the ratio is 30%, 25, 20, 15, and 10 for first, second, third, fourth, and fifth respectively. Now, If there was a tie on certain places, then there are different scenarios that come into play, and these can be seen on the guide on the Football Money website. So if, let's say, if there were three players tied for the first, then we would take 30% plus 25% plus 20%, which would be around 75%, and distribute that equally from the bonus to these players. Now, the bonus is decided based on the absolute difference from the end of the match to the start of the match. So if I was at 200 at the end of the match before bonus and I started the match at 190, then it would be considered that I had a 10-point increase, whereas the second person could have an 8, 6, 4, whichever numbers, and we distribute it based on that. Along with the bonus, it's also important to understand two additional rules, which is max cap, which is maximum cap that the person can reach, and max drop. Max cap is set up at 100%, so a player in a match cannot go more than 100%. So if they were at 30, they would not be able to go more than 60. If they were at 100, they would not be able to go more than 200. We did this so that bonus amounts sometimes vary and a player can get a significant extra amount of money, so we capped it at that amount. If there is spillage after the cap has been reached, that is equally divided amongst the non-bonus and non-frozen participants. Just as we have a cap at the top, we have a cap at the bottom, which is called max drop. Max drop essentially implies that a player cannot lose more than 20% of their value. If they cross the 20% threshold, we freeze them. So if a player was at 100 and for some reason they got to 80, they will face no further deductions after that, unless it is a negative event, which was yellow card, red card, own goal. Negative events allow a player's price to drop further, but in general, we keep a cap at 20% so that you don't suffer immense losses in your portfolio. So max cap was 100% and max drop is 20%, but negative events are outside of the realm of the max drop. So even if the player has fallen 20%, if there was a yellow card or red card after that, then they face further deductions for those, and all of those coins are added to the bonus fund, which is then distributed at 30, 25, 20, 15, and 10. Now, for understanding the core of the player price change, I would recommend that you go to the fixtures and results tab and click on any match. In that, you would have the events listed, which would be E1, E2, E3, or based on whatever events have happened. And you'll see that the number of shares multiplied by the event points is what is attributed to the positive player. And below that, in that same column, you will see that all the other players are deducted equally based on the criteria listed, and that every column totals itself, and that the match value at the start of the match and end of the match always remain the same. So this way, the player price change algorithm that we at Football Money have developed is unique, transparent, fair, and honest. Thank you for listening to this video. I know it's a little longer than usual, but there's one more where we understand how the order trading works, which is if you were to place a trade on the order trading screen or friend trading screen, how does it get approved and what is the logic behind that? Thank you and see you on the next video.